Did you feel that jolt, Detroit? That split second where your phone buzzed, your chest tightened, and you knew something big had just dropped for our city? What if I told you the playbook for the next half-decade just changed in one push notification? What if the offense of tomorrow got locked in today? And the most important negotiation on defense got kicked into a slow burn that could redefine our entire cap strategy. Are we witnessing calculated mastery, or the start of a high-wire act that only works if every step lands perfectly? Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, where we talk like fans because we are fans. If you live and breathe Honolulu Blue, you're in the right place. Detroit just pulled the trigger on a move that screams conviction. Jameson Williams, our burner, our spacemaker, our anxiety attack for safeties, has agreed to a 3-year extension reportedly worth up to $83 million with a massive guarantee attached. And almost simultaneously, reports say Aiden Hutchinson won't get his extension done before kickoff, with both sides amicably keeping talks alive for later. 2 headlines, 1 message. The core is the plan, but the sequencing is the magic trick. So let's unpack what this actually means, not just the numbers, but the philosophy, because this is bigger than a headline. This is the franchise telling you who they think they are and who they plan to become. First, Jameson. This isn't just paying a receiver, this is paying gravity. Defenses lean toward him the way planets orbit the sun. Last year wasn't a flash. In the pan, he finally put together a full, grown-man season. Clean releases, disciplined stems, violence after the catch, and the kind of top-end speed that forces coordinators to call coverages they hate just to avoid the nightmare. Locking him through the late 2020s pairs the long-range threat with Amon-Ra St. Brown's surgical precision. One is the scalpel, one is the lightning. Together, they reset leverage on every snap. And before you ask, yes, this is as much about Jared Goff and the structure of this offense as it is about Jamo's box score. A quarterback is only as fearless as his windows feel, and Jamo widens windows before the ball is even snapped. Now for the cap chess. The elegant part of this deal isn't only the headline number, it's the timeline. With the 5th-year option already in place for 2026, the new money of this extension is expected to kick in after that, which frees Detroit to keep building around a peak window without setting the cap on fire in 2025 or 2026. Translation: you retain the threat that makes your whole scheme hum, but you don't kneecap your ability to add or retain trench power, coverage flexibility, or interior depth. And that's where Hutchinson comes in. The front office clearly understands what he is. Not just sacks, but snap-to-snap distortion. He compresses pockets. He forces quarterbacks to climb into traffic. He lets your back-end trap routes and your linebackers play downhill. Players like that get the bag, full stop. The fact that talks didn't land before Week 1 isn't a crisis, it's choreography. This team has a track record of doing deals in season, and nothing about the tone out of Allen Park suggests animosity. If anything, it says, we'll define the offensive core first, keep flexibility, then hammer the defensive cornerstone with clarity on league comps and our own cash flow. Quick pulse check. Family. If you love that Detroit is acting like a real contender that understands Windows, hit subscribe and drop a like right now. It tells the algorithm we're building the most locked-in Lions community on YouTube, and it keeps these deep dive breakdowns coming all season. Back to the plan. Pairing Jameson's extension with Amon-Ra's already done commitment gives you identity insurance. Offensive coordinators don't have to reinvent themselves every March. They get to refine. That matters when you're developing second-level options like Sam Laporta and designing motion packages that turn run looks into shot plays. Movement plus speed equals hesitation, and hesitation is death in the NFL. With Jamo under contract through 2029, you can keep teaching the same language, pushing the same constraints, stacking tendencies until defenses start jumping ghosts. That continuity is the true premium you're paying for. But continuity costs money, and money is a river with many mouths. Brian Branch is coming. Jack Campbell is coming. Sam Laporta is the kind of tight end who breaks models. And yes, running. Back value is a philosophical debate every spring, but Jahmyr Gibbs is the kind of multi-purpose problem who forces real decisions. You can't pay everyone at the absolute top of their market. You can, however, choose the nerve centers of your identity and build the rest with relentless scouting and timing. Detroit just told you who the nerve centers are on offense. On defense, they told you they know Hutchinson is one, but they want to slot that number in a way that keeps the dam from bursting when the next two waves of contracts hit. Timing is everything. Getting Jamo done now before a second consecutive explosion season is a bet on known growth curves rather than bidding wars. It's locking the door before the neighborhood realizes the house's true appraisal. For Hutchinson, waiting isn't disrespect, it's leverage management. If the market moves with other elite edges, or if the league's cap jumps more aggressively than forecast, both sides can land a number that feels appropriate without a mid-camp panic rate. Meanwhile, the locker room sees clarity. The team pays production and invests in the guys who tilt the field. But it does it on a cadence that keeps the window open for multiple runs, not just a single all-in year that leaves you bleeding later. Let's talk football, not spreadsheets. With Jameson locked, you can expand the menu. More stacked releases to force soft press, more dagger variations with Amon-Ra occupying the nickel and Jamo pruning the safety at 15 yards. More orbit motions to bait rotation and then spit the ball into the void behind it. More RPO glances that look like kindness to the box but are actually cruelty to the boundary corner. You want play-action shot plays to feel inevitable? You need the defense to believe your post can beat their angles. Jameson makes DCs call safe coverages that aren't safe at all when you're patient. And when safeties widen to respect his speed, Laporta eats seams like breakfast. It all connects. On defense, Hutchinson's presence is the difference between living in 2nd and 9 and surviving 3rd and 5. Pressure isn't just sacks, it's timetables, hand placements, and landmarks. Hutch compresses edges, so offenses can't live in the 7-step world. Even when he doesn't win clean, he narrows the quarterback's read window. And the ripple effect is massive. It empowers your simulated pressures, disguises your creepers, and gives your back end the half count it needs to drive on outbreakers. If you're asking why an edge would command a franchise-defining number, that's why. It's not only production, it's permission to call an entire style of defense. There's also a culture piece here that we can't ignore. Jamo's journey hasn't been linear. It's been growth, challenge, accountability, and then breakthrough. Paying him now isn't just about roots. It's about reinforcing the behaviors that turned potential into production. Detroit is telling the room, handle your business, develop, deliver on Sundays. We'll handle ours. That matters when you want buy-in from the next group of ascending players staring at their own decisions. And just as important, not panicking with Hutch shows maturity. You don't let public timeline pressure dictate private financial strategy. You stay consistent. You communicate. You make a deal when both sides can breathe. What about risk? Every extension has it. Speed can fade. Usage can fluctuate with coordinator changes. Defenses adjust. But this bet is backed by more than optimism. It's backed by a full season of tape showing Jamo winning in multiple ways, not just go balls. He won in breaking routes. He won off motion. He won with body control on boundary throws that used to be question marks. That's teachable, repeatable. Growth. When the underlying traits match the production, you feel better about the check you're writing. If you're still here, you're the heartbeat of this channel. Drop your take in the comments. Did Detroit ace the sequencing, offense now, defense later, or would you have prioritized Hutch first, even if it cramped future moves? And if you want the most dialed-in Lions content on your feed all season, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We go live after games, we break down film on Tuesdays, and we don't do surface-level takes. Let's zoom out to the north. Division rivals watch your cap sheet like they watch your tape. This move tells them they can't sit on top of the coverage. And dare Detroit to stack 12-play drives forever. It tells them there's a price if they cheat in the box. And it tells them that even if they try to muddy the middle with bracket rules on Amon-Ra, they're going to pay on the edges. That forces roster responses. More length at corner, more speed at safety, more pressure packages to disrupt the top of routes. Every dollar you allocate should change the way opponents build, and this one does. Finally, the human side. Fans get attached to names, to arcs, to the promise of what could be. Front offices get attached to windows. When both align, you keep a player. With Jameson Williams, the arc and the window just aligned. The job now is to keep stacking wins on the field, in the locker room, and yes, at the negotiation table with number 97. Because if this plan fully loads, offense secured, defense crowned, complementary depth reloaded, then we're not talking about a good Detroit era. We're talking about a standard.